Hi everybody, welcome. I'm Dorothy. I'm a professional astrologer, and you can find me on the web at nhastrologer.com, and there you can read the new moon, full moon forecast. There's a contact me button there, so you can reach out if you like your own private sessions, and all kinds of stuff. So click on all those tabs, and there's drop-down menus, and there's stuff all over the place. Today, I want to talk about the astrological energy for November for the sign of Pisces or Pisces rising. So right now I want to start right off on November 4th and 5th. We have the moon in Aries. It's a very outspoken, emotional sign for the moon. If I'm feeling a certain way, I am going to tell you about it right away. You are not going to be surprised by my emotions because I'm going to let you know what they are. That's what this energy is all about. Now we're in the waxing phase of the moon. We're not quite to the full moon yet. And so with this energy, that just means that this is really heightened. And there's a lot of buzz around this Aries energy. And with that being said, that Aries energy is making a square to Mars. And when the moon and Mars are in a square, that energy means that I'm upset or pissed off or, about something. And so I'm going to be either I'm not going to say anything yet because the moon, because it's in Capricorn, Mars is in Capricorn. I'm not going to say anything yet until it gets to a point where I can't help myself because it's a square. So I'm going to be challenged to say things, even though I know I want to spit something out that's upsetting me. A few hours later, it makes the moon in Aries makes a square to Pluto. Now I'm taking it personally because I'm letting it get in even deeper and deeper and deeper. So now I'm getting more upset, more upset, more upset. And I feel like I have no control. Later on the 5th, the moon finally makes a conjunction to Uranus, and that's when all of it breaks open and breaks free. Uranus in Aries is very independent. The moon in Aries is independent. It's revolutionary. It bucks the system wherever it can. So somewhere between the 4th and the 5th, and on the 4th and the 5th of November, that Aries moon is definitely going to be pushing the emotional limits of a lot of people. And we'll see it all around us. So that is going to be an interesting full moon period. So the full moon on November 6th at in the sign of Taurus will help ground things down. Grounding, because Taurus is an earth sign. It's fixed earth. It's very, very grounded. Aries is fiery, so it's all in your face. That Taurus is very logical, very practical, very stubborn. And for you Pisces, that's in your 3rd house, and that 3rd house is communication. It's your local neighborhood. So with that full moon in Taurus in the 3rd house, what that tells me is that it'd be really important for you just to get out and get into your neighborhood. It's also communication. So there's a lot of Mercury transits here this month too, and I'll get to those in a minute. But there's a lot, and Mercury is in charge of that 3rd house. So that just means there's a lot of communication that really needs to happen. Can you focus in? It's the question. You know, Pisces usually are just like, oh, okay, whatever. It's not dismissive, it just is. But I want you to look and see and decide what it is that you value, what's important for you. And there's very logical, practical things that Pisces have to do. You can do plenty of logical, practical things. You just prefer not to. You just prefer to kind of like go with the flow. That full moon in Taurus, again, just wants you to focus in and decide what it is that you value. How you feel about things. You know, that's food, it's sensual pleasures. It's what I value, what I have for possessions that are important to me, how I make my money, it's important to me. It's in the 3rd house, so again, it's all about just local information, local area. If you have to get out and about and you're a little bit, you're a salesman or something like that, it's just moving, 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 moving. So a lot of things can come up with this Taurus moon in your 3rd house. So communicate is the number one thing. So communicate with those around you, talk with those around you, because for some reason what you value is being focused on right now with this full moon, and it's in that 3rd house, which is all about communication. So open up those channels of communication best you can. Next we have Mercury. On November 8th, Mercury is in the sign of Scorpio, moves into Scorpio. It's going to trigger that eclipse from October 23rd. So between October 23rd and November 8th, that Mercury is requesting that, again, we write down what was going on. What was our focus? What has shifted? What's changed? What have we let go of? What are we building? What new is happening for us? Where are we spending our time? How are we spending our time? I want you to write these things down and focus on it, because this Mercury at 0 degrees of Scorpio on November 8th is triggering that eclipse from October 23rd. So you sit down and look at your life and decide what was going on, what's been going on, and I want you to write this stuff down and focus on it and see how you can work it. That's the important thing to remember with that, because we have more Mercury stuff coming up. And until then, I'm going to look at the 10th and the 11th. That is when Mars and Pluto are conjunct inside of Capricorn. Now to me, actually it's not just to me, Mars and Pluto both are the rulers of Scorpio, and that's all about breaking things down. Now these two planets are both in the sign of Capricorn, and that's our foundations. What is left over these last few weeks and these last few months? Certain things have been falling apart and going away. What's left is the foundation of what you'll build the rest of the future, your future on. It's like these old foundations. I have plenty of them around here. I just mentioned this in a few other videos too. And old foundations from houses that are 300-400 years old. They're still there. Some of them collapsed in, but the rocks and the stones they used are still there. So this is what is this whole time period, and these last few months have been about all the Scorpio energy, about breaking everything down. Saturn in Scorpio for the last year and a half has been definitely helpful. Pluto in Capricorn has been helpful as well. So now that Mars and Pluto are conjunct in this November 10th and 11th time period, it's kind of like a culmination of a whole bunch of things, so we can really see what's been breaking down. So we can see what the foundation is. Our true foundation, because the things that have left are not coming back. And they're not coming back in the same fashion. I mean, if whatever you've lost, I can't speak specifics. I've had to rearrange a bunch of classes for myself. Certain things weren't working anymore, so now we're doing something different. They come back in different ways completely. All right? Use that. 11/22, that is November 22nd. We have the new moon in Sagittarius. That is exploration, that's fun, that's learning. And for you, that's in the 10th house of career. So this tells me that it's important for you to do your job, work, have fun at work. And then when you leave work, you can have even more fun. But the focus here is about learning at work, learning in your career, finding something new maybe, if that's your thing right now, finding something new that is exciting for you. Something that's good and exciting for you, something that's fun for you, because you want to learn while you're working. You just can't be bored. You already have Sagittarius in that part of your chart if you have Pisces rising. So that just means that that career sector is looking for a new infusion of fun, exploration, and learning. So keep that in mind. On the 25th, here's the last Mercury thing I'll talk about for this month. On November 25th, Mercury and Saturn are conjunct. Again, that wants you to sit down and write a business plan. That's what that really is. Business plan for you, a business plan for your life. Do something like that. Very simple, easy way to use this energy, especially with everything that's come before it this month. On November 27th, that's Thanksgiving Day here in the United States. It's a holiday. Family gathers to have food and remembrance. What I want you to do is, we have the moon in Aquarius, which is a really quirky place for the moon on a day that we want to just kind of hang out, have family, reminisce, but it'll bring up somebody who is in the family that has an old grudge, maybe, can't let something go. That will happen with that moon in Aquarius, because they kind of get things in their head and they can't let them go. Or, the better way to use this energy that I see, because even if somebody brings something up, there certainly isn't anything we can do about it. They're the ones who have to deal with their own issues. But another way we can do this is by doing something different for ourselves, doing something different for the family. Don't do the traditional stuff, or do it if you really feel you have to, but also do something very different and very unique, something new and creative. Get out there and find something different to do. Don't go shopping. Go find something different to do. Go find some way to have some fun and do something unique. Make a new memory. Make a new tradition. That's what I recommend we all do on Thanksgiving Day here in the United States. All right, I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you very much for watching. Please come find me on the web, nhastrologer.com, or Facebook, Dorothy Morgan Astrologer. Thank you for listening, and please share, and I will see you again next time. Thank you very much. Blessed be. Namaste.